from 10 to 3, and I still don't fully understand what an Article 5 convention does and the pitfalls. All I know is that if our legislature votes for it, and if enough state legislators vote for it, there will be a convention, constitutional convention, like there was in 1787. Although half of the people say they're different, half of the people say they're the same. And so I signed up to speak at 9:30. They started speaking at 10. Now, I'm going to have a video more detail about the others because I wasn't taking notes because my computer died. And I kept having to borrow a pen from a very attractive young woman who worked with the ACLU, who was an atheist, who didn't try to evangelize to her, but told her why I was there. And Representative Chris Kapenga, who was the person who wrote the legislation, he has this look about him. He is 5 years older than me, and he has this look of a bad guy from a 1980s movie who is trying to rub your face in the snow and steal your girl. And you had those who were speaking for it basically saying that we were having runaway spending, runaway debt, that debt is a security, debt is a national security issue, which one of Obama's chief of staff said. And I agree, but the thing is, I kept wanting to scream, what caused the debt? What caused the debt? Why were we in debt? And then you had those who were against it from the John Birch Society, very, very conservative, who believed and are afraid that there would be a runaway convention, that you might have states deciding to take away the rights to bear arms, for example. And the people who spoke for it, and like I said, I'm going to go in more detail because I don't have a lot of notes here. 3 of the 4, when I was there, were not from Wisconsin. One was from Oklahoma, who spoke for 53 minutes, and spoke ad nauseum and should have been reined in. Another one was a member of the John Birch Society who is for the convention, from Rome, Georgia, where proudly that it was the birthplace of the radical right-wing anti-American organization. I do believe that they say that they want to protect America, but they hate everything that America stands for. They hate the idea of a federal government that can do good. And so I eventually was able to speak, 3 o'clock. And remember, I got there at 10. And I said that I am there for 3 reasons. Reason 1, I am the grandson and great-grandson of representatives. My great-grandfather, John Matthew Blaska, and my grandfather, Jerome Blaska, were both assemblymen. I said I'm an evangelical Christian, which in the city where the birthplace of freedom from religion is not the easiest thing to say in Madison, Wisconsin. And I said I am a child of the 90s. And I said, as a child of the 90s, politics was different. You would have people work together. They wouldn't get everything they wanted. But we had a balanced budget. And I mentioned to Representative Kapenga, I mean, we are both children of the 90s. We both grew up in the 90s. He was 25, I was 20, when Bill Clinton and the Republican Congress balanced the budget in 1997. And so I mentioned that what has changed, and what has changed is the influx of money into politics, the corruption. I said when my grandfather and my great-grandfather were representatives, there was no NARAL, there was no ALEC, there was no Cokes. There were no big money buying politicians, paying for commercials. And I actually quoted in front of assemblymen, politicians. Isaiah 1, your rulers are rebels, companions of thieves. They all love bribes and chase after gifts. They do not defend the cause of the fatherless. The widow's case does not come before them. I said that in front of Chris Kapenga. I talked to Representative Michael Ashkara outside the bathroom and talked to him because he mentioned a prayer meeting, and I want to hear that prayer meeting. And I said, as an evangelical, I have to be here. He wasn't there when I spoke. But I'd be interested to see if he hears the transcripts of what I said. But then I said, take the corruption out of government. Everyone wants a balanced budget amendment, but we can't balance a budget on the backs of the poor. And that is what the Republicans have been doing for the past 15 or so years. So, Republicans want a balanced budget amendment. Democrats give them one, but demand an amendment that will overturn Citizens United and will bar money from politics. Big money, huge money, billions of dollars of money. And take it back to what it was like pre-Citizens United, back like it was in the 1990s, after McCain-Feingold. And Senator Kathleen Veinholt talked to me. I'm going to be running out of time, so I'm going to make another video about something that happened afterwards. But I felt God, and I pray that this is voted on, and they take my advice. But who am I? Just an evangelical Christian wanting to make a difference in the world. God bless.